We support the implementation of severe limits on companies' abilities to replace their workers with technology. These limits could take various forms, such as imposing heavy taxation on the use of technology to replace human labor, introducing regulations that would require corporations to retain a significant portion of their human workforce, or labor protection laws that would require corporations to additionally provide a great amount of compensation that would to their employees when they replace them with technology. Moving on to my first argument, the government has a principled obligation to intervene to protect workers from the impact of unrestrained company practices. When workers' rights and livelihoods are compromised by companies' decisions to replace human labor with automation, the government is obligated to intervene and prioritize worker protection for several reasons. Number one, a primary role of the government is to ensure the welfare, safety, and security of its citizens. Number two, companies by nature hold far more power and resources than individual workers, allowing them to set terms that workers have little chance but to accept. Number three, even if interfering with the free market might lead to some economic loss in the short term, governments must weigh quality of life considerations that extend beyond pure economic gain. Moving on to my second argument. These limits are necessary to protect worker rights. Unchecked, the ability of companies to replace workers with technology poses a significant threat to workers' livelihood in multiple ways. Number one, workers who lose their jobs to automation are left a without a steady source of income, which is particularly alarming for the many lower and middle class families who live paycheck to paycheck. Number two, technological displacement frequently occurs across entire industry. Number three, technological advancements happen rapidly, and workers are often not given enough time to retain or upskill. Number four, the pace and the direction of technological development are highly unpredictable, making it nearly impossible for the average workers to anticipate whether their job will be replaced and prepare accordingly. Together, these factors make workers extremely vulnerable to technological replacement with limited means to prepare or find viable alternatives, posing a serious threat to their financial security. Limiting companies' ability to replace workers with technology would not entirely prevent displacement, but it would significantly slow the process. So slowing the process is crucial, as it allows workers to maintain stable incomes for a longer period. This gradually transition on side government provides workers with more time to anticipate workers, retrain, and adjust, helping them secure their livelihood despite technological advance. Thank you.
Judge, can you please know that this debate is not about the scale of 0 and 100, but it's about the probability and the problem. 3-point of the setup. One, the current status quo AI technology like ChatGPT and other automation tools is not at the level where it can fully replace human workers in most fields. At best, it serves in a complementary role where assisting with tasks but not taking over full job functions. Two, cooperation, when allowed the freedom to implement technologies, create and expand an industry that employ millions of people. By improving efficiency and productivity, these companies are able to grow, develop new products, and provide employees employment opportunity that raise the standing of the burden. The proposition must prove that restricting automation would lead to better long-term outcomes for society beyond short-term protectionism. Before I dive into and go on to my arguments, I'll first rebut their cases. One, so they claim that the workers have the rights on rapid technological replacement and vulnerability. So in the current status quo, as I told you in the setup, AI technology at the best, it serves in the complementary role. Automation is not a zero-sum game. While some job may be replaced, automation also creates new role in the field like AI, robotics, tech support, and more. But by allowing automation, society opens the door to emerging industries and higher skilled jobs, enabling workers to pursue new avenues of economic opportunity. Two, on government program and slowing the process. The proposition claims the government can manage this change through welfare programs and slowing the pace of automation. But this is both impractical and unrealistic, since government programs alone are often slow, inefficient, and unable to keep pace with the demand of an evolving economy. Innovation needs a dynamic market, and heavy government intervention restrict companies from adapting of global competition. Even if they implement some short-term relief program, they're only delaying the inevitable adaptation needed. So our three arguments are: one, duty of government to prioritize economy; two, innovation and economic progress evaluate quality of life; three, automation enables workforce resilience and adaptation. So one, the government's role is to create an environment where business can innovate freely and the economy can grow without excessive interference. Allowing automation without severe restriction empowers companies to optimize operations, reduce costs, and improve product quality, fueling long-term economic stability and competitive advantage. Why is this so? Severe restriction on automation infringe upon business ability to adapt, restraining their capacity to grow, remain competitive globally, and reinvest profits into their economy. Innovation is hindered when companies are forced to comply with extensive limitation, or ultimately making the economy stagnant and less competitive. Why does this actually matter in this way then? In a world where that limit automation, companies fall behind international competitors who are allowed to innovate freely. Now, how does this compare with the other side? The proposition approach creates a stagnant economy, unable to progress, while our approach builds resilience and adaptability, driving sustainable growth and long-term stability. Our second argument focuses on ability for economy to adapt to technological shift and tendency for technological shift to promote human dignity. As we see in the history, past industrial shifts like introduction to computers and robots initially displaced some of the jobs, but ultimately create a net social utility, increase employment by establishing new industries and roles. Companies have consistently adapted to technological change, which actually led to economic growth and job creation over time. It is really likely that unrestricted automation will follow a similar pattern where new sectors emerge and often initial job losers. B, companies depend on skilled employees to operate, maintain, and innovate around new technologies, creating incentives or retrain upscale their workforce. Many industries are already investing on tech-specific training programs. So for these reasons, I'm really proud to propose. Thank you.
So the government bench is not against innovation, efficiency in production, or even the development of automation technology. The fact that these technologies are so efficient and profitable means that these technologies would be developed and eventually implemented even if companies are limited in their ability to immediately replace their workers. What we are defending is maintaining a balance between the efficiency and innovation that is achieved through these technological developments and the ability of the average citizens to have same stability and predictability in their livelihoods and to be safe from the immediate displacement. Happy to propose. Before moving on to our side's last argument, I would like to give off some rebuttals regarding the point raised by LO. So regarding the point on how automation can pressure for a better word. However, opposition is just assuming that automation will improve society, ignoring the immediate cost and the leaving workers vulnerable. And their argument for eventual progress doesn't mitigate the urgent disruption that workers face today. And regarding the point on how we're just delaying the immediate change, however, these targeted restrictions are crucial, especially for companies and industries that are replacing workers at an alarmingly fast rate without giving them enough time to prepare for their next journey. So moving on to our size loss argument, the limits on companies faster foster a healthier society. A gradual approach to implementing technology offers numerous societal benefits, ensuring that technological advancement supports rather than disrupts social stability and economic health. By limiting companies and slowing the displacement of workers, we can create a society better equipped to handle the challenges of technological change. First, rapid displacement of would likely overburden government and community institution as sudden increase in unemployment place overwhelming demands on existing welfare and support system. These programs are often inadequate to handle large-scale spikes in unemployment, putting institutions in crisis as they struggle to meet both the immediate needs of unemployed individuals and the long-term for retraining programs. By slowing this process, limits on corporate automation give institutions time to strengthen welfare system and implement programs that prepare a skilled workforce for future opportunities. Second, rapid automation displaces workers and reduces their income, which in turn decreases consumer spending power and lower demand for goods and services, thereby disrupting economic stability. Slowing down this displacement retains stable employment levels, sustain consumer demand, and keeps money circulating in the economy, supporting a healthier market environment that allows business to thrive. This gradual transition ultimately benefits society by protecting the flow of money in the economy and maintaining stability in the face of technological change. Third, the unchecked replacement of workers with technology tends to benefit a small group, primarily the owners and developers of the technology at the expense of larger population that relies on labor income to sustain their livelihoods. This dynamic risk widening wealth disparities as automation concentrates economic benefits among a privileged few while the majority of workers face job insecurity. So in the process of automation allows more individuals to adopt, helping to prevent social polarization and ensuring that the economic gains from technological advancement and shared more equitably. Extremely proud to propose.
Josh, we agree that the change adoption is not impactless. However, what our side is willing to prioritize more is the fact that this automation is something that slowness affects the most. Automation is something that you fail to get benefits from it when you fail to do it fast, just like innovation. And yet, our side certainly believes that trying to just give up the development and the major benefits only because they want to slow the change is not a good decision. This is not only because of the short term. Let's see the long term. I think it's obvious that the utopian world people want to live in is a world where people do not have to do those dangerous or repetitive or dirty jobs in the first place. Josh, human has more potential than just doing repetitive jobs without anything in your head. These jobs only exist due to the fact that someone had to do it. And today, with the development of technology, that someone does not have to be a human with all those potential. That someone can be replaced easily, should be replaced. And humans should get doing some more high-quality jobs that actually require a brain of human. And we believe that this is a basic first step for these changes. Therefore, we believe that this is the only one way our world can develop faster, also while achieving human dignity. Before that, let me prove side proposition's point wrong. Side propositions first argued that it is the government's duty to protect the workers' rights. They talked about employees who lose jobs in this case. However, we believe this is just a short-term effect. As I'll explain in my counter-argument, what we believe is that people not doing these jobs and not wasting their human brain is the true process to protect their human dignity and their rights. Also, we do not know why their side thinks that having any job is something that protects their rights. That job could be dirty, it could be hard, it could be repetitive. And we are willing to fix this fact that humans are doing these jobs. We are willing to replace these jobs that harms humans' rights with technology in order to protect humans' dignity. I'll explain this further in my arguments. And side proposition in their second speech has stated that they're willing to achieve balance between innovation and human rights. Josh, I think that I can understand this as they're trying to put 50 in innovation and 50 in human rights. However, Josh, our world can obviously overwhelm their world in this case because we can achieve more human rights while also putting like 80 for innovation. Let me explain why this is true. This moves on to our arguments. Side opposition's third argument is that human dignity can also be best achieved by our side. It seems like side proposition is thinking of human dignity as having a job, any job. But Josh, we want to think a little further. 3 layers of proof. First, Josh, like I constantly mentioned, human has more potential than just being a street cleaner or factory worker. Human's brain is obviously more than that. That is why at first, we always have dreams of scientists or something similar because we're eager to use our brains and get our full potential to be used. The world in the past did not support that fully. However, in the current world, it is different. Those jobs can easily be replaced for not only the company's good, but also for every human's good. Those jobs that can be replaced in the first place should be replaced. That is the true human dignity we are trying to achieve and we're talking about. Second, we believe that pushing corporations that the employees of that corporations succeeding means that the employees of that corporations are also succeeding because those individuals' lives are dependent on those companies. Also, corporations creating more innovation and developing the quality of this world is indeed a good thing for all the world, right? Third, we want to say that people being replaced with technologies does not harm human dignity that much. 2 layers here again. First, as research, 74% of the current employees have answered that they're willing to be re-educated when the world changes and the job they need to procure changes. This furtherly proves that those people who are tired with repetitive jobs, when they're able to be re-educated and placed for more high-quality jobs instead of jobs that can be even done without a human's head, it will be protecting their human dignity for sure. Here, proposition might rebut to this argument, saying that there might not be enough jobs to handle all those employees. This leads to second, new jobs will appear. We do not know, and there's no way to know how many diverse jobs will appear in the future. When cars were invented, there were jobs who controlled the traffic, drove the taxi and buses, created roads, invented navigation, and created signs. Too many I can't even say. This will likely happen in the future world too, which we believe will be enough to replace every employee that was replaced. Proud to oppose. Thank you.
Really move on to the rebuttals. I would like to first rebut what the first speaker said. The first speaker explained about how it's the government's duty to let the business grow. However, we believe that while automation can improve productivity, it often replaces entire job categories rather than augmenting them. In sectors like retail, manufacturing, and customer service, automation eliminates roles that have limited transition pathways, leading to mass layoffs without sufficient alternative employment. This also means that automation in the status quo is largely different from the past. The work that AI can do kills various jobs across sectors, making replacement different, especially for individuals who have been working in the same industry for a long period of time. So, onto the second point, which is about the economic development. I have 2 rebuttals for this. Number 1, pace of the change is too fast. Rapid automation displaces the workers so fast that the workers will suffer. It may be beneficial for the companies. For the citizen, it is a really fast pace that they cannot adopt to the difference. The second rebuttal is that this is not important because economic growth is not the accurate measurement of quality of life. Companies can massively produce, which can gain their net revenue, but the lives of many, including workers who will be displaced, will be lost, leading to inequalities and low purchasing powers, which worsens the economy. So, and their third rebuttal was about short-term effect, and they have explained about how we go against automation. It's about the short-term effect, and however, we believe that we have the regulations, and we're not going against the whole automation. We're just making it slower for the citizen to adapt faster. So moving on to our first clash, which is about protecting workers versus maximizing corporate efficiency. The core of this clash revolves around whether the government has a duty to prioritize the welfare and rights of workers over the efficiency and profitability of corporations. On the government side, we argue that the primary role of the state is to protect the citizens from government side. We argue that the primary role of the state from the negative consequences on unregulated corporate practices. While companies may benefit from unrestricted automation, this often comes at the expense of workers who face displacement, financial instability, and a lack of viable alternatives. By imposing severe limitations, we create a buffer that allows workers to retain job stability and gives them more time to retrain and adjust to new industries rather than being
thrust into unemployment without support. The opposition may claim that the automation boosts productivity, drives economic growth, and creates a new job opportunity in the long run. However, this ignores the immediate harm that unregulated automation inflicts on workers and lower skilled replaceable jobs who are often the least prepared for such drastic shifts. Economic growth should not come at the cost of widespread job loss and social instability. We believe the government's role is to manage this transition responsibly by ensuring that workers aren't left behind the name of corporate efficiency. Ultimately, our side prioritizes a balanced approach where workers are protected, allowing the economy to thrive without creating a society divided by wealth disparities and job insecurity. Moving on to our team's second class, which is about short-term development versus long-term stability. In this class examines the immediate social and economic impact of automation compared to a gradual and regulated approach to technology adoption. The government sides argue that severe limitations on automation creates a more sustainable pathway for economic stability. Rapid automation without government intervention risks overwhelming social institutions, including welfare systems and retraining programs, which are ill prepared to handle sudden surges in unemployment. By showing the pace of automation, we allow these institutions time to adopt and respond, ensuring that the benefits of technological advancement do not disrupt social cohesion or increase wealth inequality. The opposition might argue that the automation drives long-term economic growth, citing countries that embrace technology and drive. However, this long-term view fails to account for the immediate social costs that come with rapid displacements. In the short term, communities that rely on labor income will suffer due to decreased spending power, lower consumer demand, and increased financial insecurity. Our approach prevents these adverse impacts, maintaining a consumer spending and economic stability while ensuring a gradual transition. By prioritizing a controlled adoption of automation, we secure both social welfare and sustainable economic growth, ultimately leading to a social where technology benefits the majority, not just the corporate elite. Therefore, I'm proud to propose.
Okay, Judge, let me ask you one question. When Russia launched the Sputnik, was the US respond to actually just tax every technology? No, right? What I mean by this is the fact that just because when there's something type of a problem with technology, it doesn't really mean that you should really try to solve it by taxing it or whatsoever. And that is what I mean by the problem with side government. Side government wants to keep mitigating or at least slow down whatever the effect of this type of motion is supposed to mean. We believe that this isn't a source that really solves the problem, and either way we believe that that type of harm will still exist and land in their side. We have two classes in today's debate. First class is about principal duty of the governments in the first place exists in today's world. What do I mean by this? The government role is to create an environment where individuals and businesses can strive and innovate freely by allowing companies the freedom to adopt automation without severe restrictions. The government empowers the economy to grow and encourages technology progress and creates opportunities for the businesses and individuals to succeed in a rapidly advancing world. Hence, companies and individuals have the right to pursue economic advancement and efficiency to remain competitive. Automation enables businesses to optimize operations and increases productivity and enhances product quality. Restricting this right will limit businesses' ability to make decisions about how they grow and want to adapt in the future society. But two, we also want to explain mass automation is not really much of a violation of right to opportunity for these type of people. What do I mean by this? I have four analysis here. First, automation is not a zero-sum game. What do I mean by this? While some jobs may be replaced, automation also creates new roles in fields like AI and robotics and more. And by allowing automation, society opens doors to emerging industries and higher skilled jobs, enabling workers to pursue new avenues of economic opportunity. But even so, individuals have the right to adapt and grow within an evolving economy, and society benefits a workforce that is responsive to change. Automation pushes individuals to pursue new skills of fostering a dynamic workforce ready to meet the future challenges, hence meaning that they were likely are going to adapt to changes, whereas AI are going to be AI are going to be placed against workers, right? They're going to adapt in those type of situations. But C, automation can level the playing field for some of smaller businesses, enabling them to compete with larger corporations by improving efficiency. But D, even though we try to explain the fact that because if we have all of these type of products normalized as perfect, people are going to have a type of time where they actually look for human imperfect products at the same time, right? Like Picasso drawings over like drawings that are made by AI, like such as perfect things, right? They're going to just start to find over perfect people imperfect products over time. But moving on to the second clash, who is able to protect the stakeholders better? We believe that we are able to do this better in key terms. Why is this? Because at the end of the day, we see number two, right? Protecting the companies is the same way what we protect the stakeholders, and we believe that this is true on basic practice. Why is this? Because these type of companies in the first place are the ones who give income and the source for these individuals who earn money in the first place, because they're the outer income that these workers get off, right? We see that companies actually care about their image, because if they don't, they know the fact that they're going to get boycotted, and that's why they're going to like put money into like corporations to actually teach people how to get jobs that are not replaceable by robots or whatsoever, right? So because through that, we believe that we are also incentivizing these type of companies to actually make jobs that are unreplaceable by robots or whatsoever. But see, we also ourselves believe that human dignity is also able to be promoted when economy is able to adapt to technological shifts and tendency for technological shifts. So overall, we believe that we are able to actually help to these stakeholders better than their side, and actually have a way to mitigate the overall impacts that they try to give us throughout the debate. Thank you.
Honorable adjudicators, I want you to simply note the fact that our world, our policy not only benefits more people, but also has a significant benefit we are willing to push. This debate is not only about economy, this debate is also about human dignity. These are indeed the two main clashes, economy and human dignity. This debate is indeed about those employees that are replaced. I think side proposition was expecting our side to only pursue the economy point, and it seems like their side tried to use human dignity to overwhelm our case. However, I'm here to tell you, Josh, they failed. We certainly believe that our side is the side that managed to take both classes home. Josh, our world, with both classes home, can easily overwhelm theirs. Let's first take a look at what world has proved that they achieve economy in a better way. I think this is a pretty obvious win by our side because they're willing to make the process go slower. This process should be executed fast in order to get maximum economic benefits in the best way. And that is what our world is pursuing in a mutually exclusive manner. Their side did not really use their time on proving that their world has a better economy, right? So I think it's a pretty safe that this clash comes to our side because they never proved this fact. Now, let's take a look at what world has proved that they achieved human dignity in a better way. It seems like their side believes that this human dignity is our trade-off. It seems like their side is believing that our side cannot achieve human dignity, but because it seems like they're just trying to push that one point about human dignity instead of engaging to any of our arguments that talked about it or even the POIs. However, I'm here to prove that fully wrong. Josh, we have constantly proved that our side also achieves human dignity in a better way in the long term. However, we did not get any meaningful responses here. I'm genuinely disappointed to side government because, as you know, Josh, it is obviously their burden to prove our points wrong or prove their worlds more beneficial than ours in order to fully take this debate home. However, their side fails to fulfill this burden. From the points I, in my previous speech, has said that we benefit human dignity and their side cannot benefit human dignity as much as our side because human rights are their main push. They need to engage in this and prove this wrong. However, they did not fulfill that too. Josh, as a debate judge, I hope you view this debate with logic. Please consider what world what world is better, what world is more likely to happen, and what world you want to live in. Thank you.
So, Honorable Chair, us as site government support the implementation of severe limits on companies' abilities to replace their workers with technology, which can be in various forms. This would not be outright ban on automation or replacing workers with technology. Workers are likely to eventually be replaced on both sides of the house. However, by implementing this policy, we want to make this change go as gradual and painless, while the side opposition only focuses on benefits of elites and neglected workers who are struggling to adapt to the immediate change. Happy to propose 3 arguments introduced in this speech. So first, the government has a principled obligation to intervene to protect workers from the impacts of unrestrained company practices. A primary role of the government is to ensure the welfare, safety, and security of its citizens. The government's duty to protect the most vulnerable members of the society requires it to prioritize worker protection over corporate freedoms. And second, these limits are necessary to protect workers' rights. Unchecked, the ability of companies to replace workers with technology poses a significant threat to workers' livelihood in multiple ways. And lastly, the limits on companies foster a healthier society. A gradual approach to implementing technology offers numerous societal benefits, ensuring that technological advancements supports rather than disrupts social stability and economic health. Two clashes identified in this debate. So first clash was about protecting workers versus maximizing corporate efficiency. We win this because our side prioritizes a balanced approach where workers are protected, allowing the economy to thrive without creating a society divided by wealth disparities and job insecurity. And second clash was about short-term displacement versus long-term stability. We take this clash because by prioritizing the controlled adaptation of automation, we secure both social welfare and sustainable economic growth, ultimately leading to a society where technology benefits the majority, not just the corporate elite. We believe that we gave sufficient reasons why we should implement severe limits on the companies on transitioning to automation, and we take this debate home. More than proud to propose.